Reminder of our top story here on France 24. Demonstrations across France, a sixth day of protest against pension reform. This as the Senate weighs the article of that bill that would raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. The big Paris demonstration, according to unions, drawing some 700,000 people. A huge number. With us now is business editor Kate Moody.
Hi, Francois.
Kate, since the start of the week, I personally have noticed it. People lining up at gas stations to fill the tank just in case.
Just in case the strikes that are taking place today at oil refineries, amongst other places, do indeed continue for the rest of the week or even further, Francois. Unions say that every refinery today is affected by the walkouts. That means that little to no fuel is actually being delivered to petrol stations. If those workers continue their strikes on a rolling basis, pumps could run dry, and motorists are already queuing to try and stock up. Now, last year, there were weeks of shortages across the country as refinery workers went on strike, calling for higher wages. Now it's the government's pension reform plan that sparked anger. Caroline Lembelet has more.
France's oil refineries again brought to a near standstill. Amid rising anger about the French government's plans to reform the retirement system, unions at this refinery near Nantes agreed to stop shipping and receiving oil products until Friday.
The real fight starts now. We have shown them our discontent with massive strikes across the country. We weren't heard nor listened to, so we're using the only means we have left, a hard strike. This is the first day. We're going to continue. We're not going to relinquish anything. People are extremely determined right now. They're going to have to take this into consideration.
There were similar scenes across the country, including in Normandy, which is home to France's largest oil refinery. The strikes have sparked fears about fuel shortages, as motorists rush to fill up their tanks.
I'm planning ahead, even though I'll be cycling anyway, but I've got a family member who's sick and who lives far away. I need to be ready for anything.
Yes, it's a nuisance. I'm a craftsman. So if they really strike as long as they say they will, I won't be getting deliveries of raw materials.
According to trade unions, production has already taken a hit. But French oil and gas company Total has said that reserves are high and that there is no lack of fuel at gas stations. It said 64% of operators at its sites were on strike on Tuesday morning.
Well, in South Africa, electricity shortages are weighing on economic activity more than initially forecast. New figures show the economy contracted more than economists had expected, shrinking 1.3% during the last 3 months of 2022. That was a period which saw power outages nearly every single day. The downward trend is largely expected to continue in the first quarter of this year. That would mean South Africa's economy is officially in recession. President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a national state of disaster. On Monday, he appointed a minister of electricity to deal with that crisis. Industry groups, though, have warned that giving a government official still more power may lead to turf wars without actually helping households and businesses who are left repeatedly in the dark. Let's check in on the day's trading action now. The major European indices have closed lower, losses of around 0.5 percentage point in each Paris and Frankfurt, a bit less in London. The pound sterling was down about 1.4% against the US dollar. A sell-off on Wall Street is gaining steam as well. The Dow Jones down over 1 percentage point there. The S&P 500 not far behind. Investors around the world have been keeping a very close eye on testimony by the U.S. Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell. He's warned today that despite the pace of inflation moderating slightly, America's central bank would likely have to keep interest rates higher for longer than previously expected. Take a listen.
As I mentioned, the latest economic data have come in stronger than expected, which suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we'd be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes.
U.S. lawmakers are tightening restrictions on tech companies based in 6 countries that are deemed foreign adversaries. Those include Iran, Russia, and China. A bipartisan group of senators are supporting a bill similar to one that's making its way through the House of Representatives that would give the U.S. Commerce Secretary more power to crack down on apps that are deemed to pose a national security threat. TikTok and its Chinese parent company ByteDance would be among the most high-profile platforms to be targeted. The company has repeatedly denied that it gives the Chinese government access to U.S. user data, but it has come under increasing scrutiny in both the United States and EU. But public servants in Brussels, for example, have recently been banned from using that app on their work phones. The battle against the West and those Chinese apps, in particular TikTok, Francois, far from over.
All right, many thanks, Kate Moody. We'll have more business news